Hey guys, a couple days ago I said I was going to start a YouTube channel, and I just wanted to step right in and start the conversation around the link between mental health and one's ability to stay empowered throughout their life. Currently, I am a full-time registered mental health counseling intern at a psychiatric unit, and it's a very Western philosophy worldview where clients will say that they are either suicidal or homicidal or have psychosis, and then get Baker acted by the police, go to the hospital for medical clearance, come to our hospital, and get stabilized. And it's very much pop the pill and everything's going to be fine. And so I wanted to start a conversation more so about a more empowering conversation around what is that missing link? What is the conversation that we're not having? Why are there so many school shootings and people not able to cope with their feelings, their anxiety, their fears, their sadness, their depression? A couple years ago, admittedly, I voluntarily stepped into or admitted myself to a psychiatric hospital after a breakup. So I hit my rock bottom, and it was a huge wake-up call. Quit my job as a mental health counselor at an addictions unit, became a flight attendant, literally flying away from my problems. And then I realized after a year I wanted to come back to this mental health work to discover and explore more of myself, and what makes human beings resilient. Why I checked myself into that psych unit was one night after that breakup, I woke up and heard a train and thought, might as well just go jump in front of that train. Nobody cares, or, very much in my victim story, my lowest of low points. And how did I come back from that? How do we as human beings come back from that? A lot of the patients I see on a day-to-day basis, they are at a point in their life where they're at their lowest point, and why not just end the pain through death, or through cutting myself, or through killing somebody else? So perhaps this is the reason why we see so many school shootings, or not even at schools, but everywhere, is that people are not having this conversation of what is causing us to not open up and talk about these more vulnerable subjects. The families I work with, even, they are very much against addressing this topic in their own homes. And so the kids come in, and a lot of times the parents are, in my opinion, worse than the kids. They need more help than the kids do because the parents are not open to talking about it. And so if we're not addressing this in the home, everything stems from the home. If we're not addressing it in the home, then the kids go to school and they feel, less than, they feel bad about themselves. They're not open to it. They might have a breakup. And a lot of times we get kids that come into the hospital that have had breakups, and then they feel like killing themselves. So again, a similar situation, even as an adult, going through divorce, going through a breakup, going through some sort of loss. How do we begin the conversation and start talking about this? I think it's really important to just step into this and just step in and step up. And I don't know what I wanted to pose this. I was a little reluctant to step into this space because I'm not used to doing videos of myself and talking about this sort of thing, but it's really calling me. It's on my heart. I just wanted to share it with you all and hear your opinions on it. Those of you with kids, or those of you with just deeper issues, maybe you even want to be vulnerable and talk about, have a conversation around what you've been through, what your story is. I'm very interested. On my side job is I just started modeling. It just came to me. I was like, okay, maybe modeling could help me with self-confidence and self-esteem too, just something different on the side. Of course, there's the expense of that, but I think it's worth it to me because it's something that I've never tried before. It's me stepping through my fears. It's me stepping and through something that I've never done before. It's unfamiliar territory. And my mentor said, hey, you should step into a conversation around the link between mental health. Use your mental health background, and what is the link? Pose the question, what is the link between mental health and inner outer beauty, mental health and self-confidence, mental health and self-esteem, mental health and empowerment, our ability to be resilient after breakup, after loss. So that's my question to you. I just saw okay, David's watching. Hi, David. Okay, lack of connection is at the core of a lot of this. Yes, absolutely. So lack of connection is at the core of this. I think is a big part of this. Is vulnerability is the bridge to connection, and we all want to feel connected, but none of us want to get vulnerable. So it doesn't match up. If we want vulnerability, we want connection, we have to start to communicate with each other. And I myself have struggled with that in relationship, of communicating what I'm really feeling for fear of the guy leaving me or whatever. I just had a conversation with somebody that I had a disagreement with and said, hey, let's take a walk. Let's talk about some of this. Let's get vulnerable. Let's get a little deeper about what's really going on with you and what's really going on with me. So definitely communication. Hi, Hector. Virginia's watching. David, social media without real in-person connection is creating more isolation. Absolutely. Social media without real in-person connection. So, so social media, a lot of social media is surface level. Like, we see on social media, everything is, everybody is happy, everybody's sharing their greatest achievements, and when they're the happiest, and they're with their families, and we see babies and getting married, and then kids look at that, and a lot of times we have the kids at the psych unit, and the kids look at that and they're like, well, I'm not that happy. They start to compare themselves, and so there's a comparison story going on as well. Without real in-person connection is creating more isolation, right? So we're afraid to even come out of our rooms anymore. We're always on our phone. I see a lot of the kids, if they get their phone taken away from them by their parents for disciplinary reasons, they go ballistic. A lot of them end up in the hospital because they got their phone taken away. So what does that tell you? The phone is such I can understand how it can be an educational tool, or something that they can cope with their feelings as I guess it's more of a distraction. But if they get it taken away and then they go ballistic, that's super unhealthy. And I think we got to take a look at that, because you're right, David, I feel like it is creating more isolation around especially teenagers. And so that's the question. I'm starting the YouTube channel. I did post one video this morning. I'll have more to come. I'm calling it the self-love series. So it's, I guess, because I think that's what this is all about, is how do we come back to self-love? If we're having all these expectations of other people in our life, expectation leads to disappointment. So if we're having these expectations, if our expectations are too high, that can lead to depression and anxiety and all of that too. So just taking a look at what, again, the first question I have for you guys is, what is that link? What do you guys see? Where have you struggled with this in your own life? That link between mental health, that will be your self-talk. What are you telling yourself on a day-to-day basis? Whenever I first broke up with this last guy, which was a couple months ago, every morning I would wake up with this, just this deep penetrating anxiety, and I would wake up alone. It's the fear of being alone, the fear of abandonment. And how I got through that was I would literally go to the bathroom, look in the mirror. I had to start rituals. I had to start routines. Look in the mirror, tell myself, Nicole, you're a badass, or Nicole, you're like my mantra was, Nicole, you're a magnetic goddess. You're attracting everything you need in every moment. Everything is working for your highest good. Today is a great day, or today's going to be a freaking awesome day at work. Like, just start talking to myself, tell myself a different story, because if I didn't, I just started like hyperventilating, and just the panic. I don't know if any of you ever gone through that kind of loss and then felt that way, of the panic and the anxiety and of loss. It's just incredibly powerful feeling. And just how I got through that was, of course, talking to other people, but literally looking in the mirror. That's the thing I think that helped me the most get through that loss was, yes, feeling the grief, feeling the sadness, wanting to run in the whole other direction, because 2 years ago, that's what I did. I literally quit my job, became a flight attendant, ran away from my problems. I was up in the air all the time. But also realizing I wasn't grounded. I wasn't really addressing the real problem. So when I came back to earth, when I came back to land, I started to I joined this spiritual group by Robert Friedman. He's here in Fort Lauderdale. Every Monday night I would go to this spiritual group and just get grounded again and tune into what is it that I'm really feeling. And that's how I got through that loss. So thanks for watching, everyone. I won't make this super long, but what are your thoughts on this? Are you interested in this topic, you personally? Has this been a struggle for you of mental health and keeping your mentality healthy and being resilient and creating self-confidence in self-love? Have you struggled with that, and what has been your struggle? I'd love to hear more. You can message me, or I don't really know how this works. This is my first time doing this. If you can comment below. I don't know if this will post to my wall afterwards, but thanks for watching. I'm really glad Jessica, Adrian, and Tony and Sarav is watching. Catherine Warren. Hey, Catherine. Abby Booth is watching. Welcome. Abraham. Hey, Abraham. Catherine Warner. Disconnection equals disease. Yeah, dis-ease. Disconnection equals disease or dis-ease. Connection equals ease and healing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. So dis-ease, literally we are not at ease about something. And it's the ego that creates that separation or disconnection, right? So it really, hey Grace, it really is that dis-ease that causes, or disconnection. So Catherine, when you feel disconnected from another person, that's when you feel not at ease, like diseased about something, right? And that's created by the ego. So how do you feel that we can create more connection in our own life, in your life? Like, how do you feel like you can create more connection in your life? What do you need to do? It's all about self-love in relationship, I feel like. And so does anybody else have any, I'll just leave this open for a minute because it's good to see all of you on here. It's really cool. This is my first time doing this. So if you just want to make comments, I think everyone can see your comments of like, what is this topic? Does it interest you at this time, of that link between mental health and inner outer beauty, keeping your self-confidence, your empowerment alive? And I was telling you guys a little bit about my struggle, and I think it's a lot of it is conditioned thinking. So I was brought up Catholic. I don't know if anyone else was brought up Catholic, but that conditioned thinking of no sex before marriage, you're going to hell if you do this, you're going to hell if you do that. The Catholic guilt set in, and that conditioned way of thinking. And sometimes I still find myself listening to all my mom's opinions, and I still need her approval, and I'm 32 years old, so why do I need my mom's opinion about, And sometimes, so a lot of it is healthy boundaries too, of like, where does unhealthy self-esteem come from? I didn't learn boundaries growing up. So then in relationship, I didn't set boundaries with the men that I was with. And then that created disconnection from myself. So it was really like disconnecting from, where am I neglecting myself in this relationship? That's what the struggle has been for me in relationship. So all right, so thanks for watching. I'm gonna post, I guess this video will just post to my wall, and then I'm gonna post the link of the first YouTube video that I have. I'll jump on here again maybe tomorrow. But in the meantime, if you guys have any insights into what I've been talking about, this conversation, I wish that you guys we could have more of a dialogue on here, but I guess we can't. I'm kind of learning the technological stuff on here, getting this started, but what do you guys think? I think it's important to jump in and just discover, like, why are the kids that I'm working with coming in? We had I think the youngest we've had there at the psych unit is 12 or 11, and the oldest, it goes 12 to 17, so it's like, why are these kids that are 12 years old to 17 coming in, and they're already wanting to end their pain by suicide or death or cutting, or homicide, shooting up schools and all that. So we do get a lot of kids that want to come in because they are planning to shoot up a school. We had a kid that had a whole drawing of it, of how, the gun he would use, and so it's scary because it's out there. But love to hear your opinions on all this. Thanks, guys. Bye. Hey, Audrey. I just finished. Hey, Eric, I just finished the video, but check back. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but the live video that I just did. Hello, Leek Cecilia. That's a pretty name. This video will post to my wall. I think that's how it works. And then I'm going to post the link to my YouTube channel I'm starting. I was saying earlier, I was a little reluctant to start this, but I think it's important to jump into a conversation around how does mental health link to inner outer beauty, empowerment, staying empowered as women, as men, just jumping into conversation around how are we coping with our depression and our anxiety. And there's a lot of people, we just had somebody in our dance community die, and I don't know what the full story was, but people are struggling, like I was saying earlier, people are really struggling with these deeper feelings of depression, anxiety, and there's no conversation around it. I think people are scared, or people are just fearful of saying too much, or saying what's really on their heart, but vulnerability is the bridge to connection. So I think it's really important to start jumping into this conversation. So anyways, that's it for me. Hope to have more dialogue around this. I'll be coming on here hopefully once a day if I can. But would love to hear your opinion on how does, where have you had struggled with this in your own life, of keeping your self-talk positive and creating positive feelings inside of yourself. Do you compare yourself a lot to others, or do you are you able to be resilient and build yourself up every day? What are the things that you tell yourself every day? Catherine Warner. For myself, it's embracing authentic connection, getting out and spending time with someone, or practicing mindfulness in nature. Yeah, definitely. Going back to simplicity is what heals and lifts me. Ooh, I like that. That's awesome. Yeah. So embracing authentic connection with people, getting out and spending time with someone, or practicing mindfulness in nature. So going back to simplicity is what healing and lifts you up, Catherine. That's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Love to you, Catherine. Happy Saturday. Hey, Kendra. Okay, we're just wrapping up. So thanks everyone for listening, and I hope you will listen to the whole video. Thanks for coming on here, and nice to connect with you.